Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
So while we are waiting for everybody to get logged in, let's check in, see how everybody's doing. Jeff, looks like you're already off mute. How was your week?
Actually, I did pretty cool week. I went out and had like 12 showings. Um, and I've got my young couple from last week who was gonna work on an offer, didn't work on an offer. Now today I'm working on an offer. So that's
Nice.
gonna be good. That's my chore for today is to get that together and go through it with Caitlin.
So when you say you had
Yeah,
12 showings, is that you took one client and showed them 12 homes, or is that you had several different clients within that number?
two different.
Two. Okay. So I would call that two showings and, obviously 12 properties. So when we start to unpack those numbers a little bit more, so those are two appointments. So as we start to evolve, like your week will look like how many face-to-face appointments did you have? And that would be a total of two. But did you have any other appointments, like listing appointments or client meetings or anything like that?
I had a listing appointment. I'm talking to a gentleman about four different properties under the same guy. But
Okay.
that's
I
not
remember
he's
that. I think you talked about that last week. That's awesome.
yeah. So he is giving me access to the properties to go walk through them this week, but he's not going to hit the market till spring or early summer.
Okay. So walking them and getting the information now, what can we do with that information, or what can we do with those off-market properties in the meantime?
Well, unless he's ready to take any bids or anything, I can't market them to anyone yet. For me, I want to see what condition they're in and what he might have to do before we would go on the market.
Okay. So I would also pitch like, hey, if I know that you're not ready till the spring, obviously we want to determine what's the reason why he's not ready till the spring. So is it timing? Is it tax purposes? Is it, like what's driving that decision? Because if we can find him something now, I mean, the market's active, right? So we might be able to find him something now. Also, we have to consider days on market, right? So he might not be ready till the spring because that's when he wants to sell. But in that area, what's
Mhm.
the average days on market, right? So that's that data that you want to give him that helps you kind of get him to become more of a solid, um, seller, and then also
Right.
get you that listing sooner, right? So sometimes waiting till the spring isn't the right answer. If like the average days on market is 60 plus days, well then shoot, we need to list it now because the average days is this, and we know it's going to take us till probably March or April before it gets sold. So
Right. I gotcha.
yeah, so have that in your mind as you're walking the properties, right? Figure out what it takes to get it sold. Like, do we need to clean the house? Do we need to put new carpet in? Do we need to paint? That's your list of stuff that you need to give him. But if it's turnkey and you can sell it now, give him that information. Say, hey, take advantage of the market now. If you wait till the spring when a lot of other sellers are listing, well, then maybe your listing gets, positions in lost in the mix with all the other ones, right? So that could be a
Right.
good
I
opportunity
gotcha.
for you to secure that listing, right? So I'm always looking for now business, and I don't want you guys just to allow that seller to dictate your business, right? You want to make sure you're the one in control. They have the product, but you're the selling agent there.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah.
Make sense?
I was just taking his time frame as to what he personally was ready to do, and not pushing it yet. So
Yeah,
I
no,
can
I
dig it.
get it,
I
right?
can. That's a good idea to dig into it. And
It's a fine line, right? So if somebody's putting their toes in the water, they're expressing interest, and there's
hmm
really nothing holding them back. Like if there's a reason, like, oh, I have tenants in it and they're not out till this time, or for tax purposes, I have to wait till this point in time, great. But if
right,
there's no other reason other than just because they feel like it, well then give them the reasons why they should do it now,
right,
you know? So
yeah.
that's why it's
I will
important to be
find
that
out.
market expert, right? So you guys have to be that hyper local market expert and know each individual, market. What's the average days on market? What's the average sales price? And if we do X, is it going to yield to a sale? That's the information that you should be able to regurgitate so that you can secure that listing. Because if you don't, and you go and you wait until happens all the time, right? I have a seller, they want to sell in the spring, I'll follow up in March. I wait till March. Oh shit, I already listed it with somebody else. Sorry. Right? It happens all the time because somebody else called them, somebody else referred their friend that was an agent or, whoever, somebody else will get in front of them.
Right.
So anyway,
that reminds me. That reminds me. Hang on tight or stay close to them so nobody else can get in there.
yeah, absolutely. So let's say it's, there is a valid reason why that person wants to wait. Well, then, yeah, we need to do our check-ins with that person, and I would be touching base with them every 2 weeks and giving them market updates. So if it's me, I'll say, "Hey, Jeff, just wanted to check in with you, let you know what's going on in the market. Hey, I know your house is over on 123 Main Street. Just to let you know, there was a listing that went active and went pending in 3 days. The market is definitely telling us, signs are pointing to an active market. So just wanted to give you some food for thought. And if there's anything that changes your mind on selling, let me know. If not, we'll check in a couple weeks. But that's the market. That's the data that you want to give them, right? Instead of just like, hey, how's it going? You want to give them data because numbers will push that person to sell.
Right.
It only just takes one hot listing and they'll go, oh, I can get this. And it sold for over asking, or it's sold in 3 days. Like that's a good telltale sign. It's time to list it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
it sounds
Yeah.
like you had a good week. 2 appointments. You're working on an offer, possible listing appointments. Those are
Yeah.
good. Those are really good.
That's
And
new
so
for me. Yay.
that's part of being a busy agent, right? And so that is a testament to all your hard work that you've been putting in for the last, several months, really.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so what is your plan this week to stay in front of that active activity?
Well, once I get the offer in and then track it down, then I'll have to go through the process with a transaction person there at the team, and with this young couple, hopefully get them into their schedule, get all of their steps lined up
Okay.
as they go through to closing. So this would be the first one going all the way through for me. But it's getting back out again for a couple other showings, and I'm supposed to meet again with the listing guy later in the week. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I'll show up back at his house instead of just calling them.
Yep. Set that appointment today. Say, hey, my week is filling up. I wanted to make sure I secured an appointment with you because I didn't want the week to get away from me. What day and time works best so I can walk those homes?
Yeah, yeah.
Get all of those addresses, get your numbers together, walk those houses, and then go list it.
I would hope to get listing that quick. If he's
You'd be
open
surprised.
to jumping, that would be awesome.
You'd be surprised. So you have a great week, my
All right.
friend. I love the activity.
Will too. I'm just getting ready to get out the door here, so I'm gonna
right.
keep you guys on though. All right.
Cool. All right, so let's move on to Victor. How's everything going, Victor?
Pretty good so far.
Good. How was your week last week? So this is your first time on the call. So normally we talk about what activities we did last week, and we're looking at, hey, how many contacts did we make? How many calls did we make? And then also, sorry, I'm going to stand up here. And then also we talk about like how many appointments we made and all that kind of things. So we always like to share. So to give an example, here's what my numbers look like. I had 46 contacts last week. I had 6 appointments. I got 1 listing, and I went to 1 networking event. Right. So that was my week. That was a busy week for me. I was a little light in calls. I could have definitely made more calls on Monday and Wednesday. So I'm going to focus on productivity this week. But that's what my week looked like. So with that being said, what did your week look like?
Well, my week actually was decently productive. I made quite a bit of calls. I set a lot of kind of follow-up appointments. A lot of people are coming. That the leads that are coming in on my end are basically for land. So a lot of it has been land search, trying to get in contact with them. And once I do,
Okay.
I already set an appointment for showings just to kind of walk the land to see if that's what he wants. And so he can see the areas for Saturday early in the morning. And then today is just following up with everybody else.
Okay,
Which-
let's talk
yeah,
about
week schedule.
a lot of the agents. So when it comes to land,
Mhm,
I'll give you an example. I got a land lead last week,
mhm.
and that person, she's like, "Hey, I'm looking for 4 acres in, I don't remember where, somewhere in Tampa." I'm like, "Okay, so you're looking for 4 acres in Tampa." I said, "What do you plan on doing?" "Oh, we want to build a homestead. This is something that we want to do. My husband and I, we want to build a house." Okay, cool. All right, so what are we doing? Like, have we prepared ourselves? My question was like, hey, did we prepare ourselves to buy? I said, so are you looking to pay cash or are you going to be financing?
Yeah.
We've got some people that can give us financing. Okay. I said, what does that really look like? Like somebody's giving you money or somebody's giving you a loan? Oh, we're going to get a loan, right? So that means she really had nothing set up.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so you don't have any financing in play, but you're looking at 4 acres. So I think the first step for you is really you want to get yourself prepared to purchase, right? So you know exactly what you can be eligible for. And this is the issue we have with regular buyers too, right? For
Mhm.
residential. So before you spin your wheels too much and you're doing tours and all that, make sure you might do this already, but make sure they have their financing or their cash set up.
Yeah, I have a preferred lender I go through, and we do the pre-approval before we go head out the door. That way we have
Cool.
kind of baseline.
Is that something that they do the financing on the land, or is that a construction loan or a combination of both?
For the land, the majority of the clients that I have or the prospects that I have are all cash. So it's just finding
Okay.
the right piece of land for the right price, which I found quite a few over the weekend, and I've kind of kept in contact with them and set today as an appointment to kind of go over all the numbers, what it would be like.
Okay, cool. So, two things I'm going to ask you for. So,
Mhm.
share your chat so that everybody can use your contact here in Florida.
Okay.
Number two is Sean has a bunch of listings out in Tampa. If you have anybody that's looking, Sean, if you want to put your listings in there, a couple addresses, so we can cross sell, that would be great. And be careful not to spend too much time with them. I just want to finish that conversation. So, with that buyer, I said, hey, are you prepared to pay for impact fees plus the building fees and everything like that are associated with the land? Oh,
Mhm.
God. Right. So they had no idea about the impact fees. And so by the end of the conversation, I had then turned her attention to maybe looking at something like a mobile home or a manufactured property on a good chunk of land so that she could build
Yeah.
uh, at or make some addition to it. So hopefully you're having that same dialogue. It sounds like you're pretty dialed in with the land, so that's good.
Yeah, I have today, throughout the day, I have one conversation that I gotta have with the client that we had to reschedule for today because she went to the hospital. Um, so to take her application with the lender, that way we kind of have a baseline. Try to get her scheduled for this week, and
Okay,
then I have another client where we're just pretty much just going over action plan with the pre-approval we got.
cool. All right, so you got a pretty good busy week. Did you get any contracts or listings of last week?
No, but I do have one pending that gotta keep my eye on.
Pending,
Uh,
like it's under contract?
yeah, I got one. I think it was about a week and a half ago or so. Yeah,
Okay, did you already fill out the new deal template for that
yeah.
one?
It's everything's in.
Okay. For some reason, I don't have you down for a pending, so I'll have Caitlin reach out just to make sure she has everything she needs because I
Okay.
want to don't drop the ball.
Yeah. Caitlin did text me to call her after this meeting, so it might be
Cool.
because of that, but
All
yeah.
right. Well, I like that you have a pending contract. Sounds like you have a busy week. Just keep getting, as many appointments as you can. Stay in front of your client. Be careful with the land people because they'll
Mhm.
waste your so
Yeah,
you know doesn't suck up too much of your time. Okay.
for sure.
Cool. All right. Sarah, how was your week last week?
It was okay. I had a lead come through Saturday that was kind of weird. They wanted to see a new construction, and then I reached out to the listing agent, and they said like the showing's not possible. And then I got back in touch with the lead, and they were like, well, we're heading there now. Don't contact me again. So that was weird.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, as you have more and more conversations, you start to meet more and more people, you're going to find out people are definitely strange and odd. And it's just a matter of flipping those over until you find the right one. But you can't save everybody. So what else happened?
That was basically it.
Okay. So you secured one appointment or one lead. We need to get more leads for you. So did you spend your time doing any phone calls in the lead pool or anything like that?
No, I'm kind of confused about the lead pool. Like when I go in there, it's like how do you get to just the like Winter Haven, Orlando area? Because when I go in there, it's like showing a bunch of different areas. Like it shows like I've seen some in like Tampa. So I'm not sure if that's like something that I have to find, or do I just like go through and look at each person individually?
I would say call and talk with Dana afterwards. Dana, you guys can connect and she can walk you through.
Yeah, and just so everybody is aware, they are all together. Unfortunately, Winter Haven, Orlando, and Tampa are all pooled together, but we can talk after, Sarah. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So productivity is the theme of the week for you, right? So we got to get you smiling, dialing, making some activity, getting new appointments. You should be getting Zillow calls now, real-time touring stuff. The Redfin has been going on. Hopefully you're active on that and you're registered. And yeah, so it's all about productivity for you. So we got to get you going.
Yeah, I got the Redfin stuff set up. I haven't had anything come through. Even the one lead that I got, I had told Dana, I emailed her earlier in the week because I had one come through really early one morning and I had missed it, and then I didn't get anything else for the rest of the week. So I was like, I don't know if it shut me off for inactivity or what.
I don't know. Redfin's been pretty active, so I would email support and make sure they have you. Was the leads for this area? That one lead that you got, was it this somewhere else?
The one that I got was for Orlando, but it was a Zillow lead, not a Redfin. I haven't gotten anything from Redfin. I set up everything and did the training, but I haven't gotten any kind of leads from it.
Okay, let's see. All right, I'm gonna keep talking to everybody else, and I'll look in the meantime, and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I got to log in.
I do have Angel, I do have a question regarding the Redfin lead.
Sure.
What is the key to securing that lead? Because every time one come in, and I have received like several, when you click the link, within seconds, it's gone.
Yeah, it moves really quickly. I know. They're working on that. There's a couple of large teams that have like Autobots or something like that are snagging them. So eventually they'll get themselves
okay.
faced. But really, it's just all about speed to lead, right? The sooner you can get to it, and then that's pretty much it. It's nothing fancy there. I did want to let you guys know too. Sorry, this is a side note that there is an event that is coming up in February. It is February 19th. It's in the morning from 8:30 to 4:30. You guys may or may not know this person. His name is Tom Ferry. This is a Tom Ferry training event. It's called The Edge, and they're going to talk about sales skills and the market and all this cool stuff. And they'll give you some helpful tips. It is a free ticket that my lender is covering for all of the team. So if you'd like to go, you're going to get an email today from Alicia at some point. You'll have to self-register and use the promo code. But I would highly recommend going. Like I did this, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and it was a really cool event. And it was nice to be in the room with other professionals from all over. and then also obviously meeting Tom and his network was pretty cool as well. So keep your calendars open for that date. It's the 18th. Is it 18th? 19th. 19th. It's at a hotel over looks like by the airport. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So that'll be helpful because they're talking about sales skills, they're giving you scripts and all this good stuff. So it'll be a really cool time. So that'll be good for you guys. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna keep going. Sorry, I was just talking about that randomly. But Sean, how was your week?
It was good. It was busy week. Got to the closing table finally Friday night. So I had one closing last week.
Okay, cool.
So I'm in the middle of the process of submitting the documents and sending everything to you guys. But then I had an appointment to pick up 4 more listings in Webster. Going to be 3-2 manufactured homes. So that went well. And then I have another closing coming up in 10 days on a 3-2. I did have an appointment this Saturday, but I think Chevy had to run it for me because I had some car issues. I played mechanic all weekend. So other than that, I got Murray in the office today. And but yeah, I made probably 80 calls last week. Had one appointment and one closing. So it's a busy week.
Sorry, I was on mute. You had a really good, productive week. I love to hear that you're still getting the listings. Is that from the same client that you've been working with?
Yeah, it's going to be a total of probably 15 properties when I'm said and done with this guy. So,
Okay, I love that. So again, I know he's talked about it before, but just to reiterate, this was a land lead that came in. I think, was it the lead pool?
yeah, I was just going through calling and saw that he was looking at property, and what he was doing was just comparing other properties to what he already had listed. So this was an expired listing I took over. The other agent failed to sell it over a year period, and I sold it in less than 45 days. So
That's amazing. So it's all about timing, right? So going back to Jeff and talking about that seller, right? He was able to get in front of this client and talk to them about selling now versus down the road. And it ended up turning into probably a long-term relationship, right? This person's probably got multiple properties that he'll allow you to sell over the years that you'll be working with them, I would assume, right?
yeah, the end game is to get to their single family primary residence in Longwood, Florida, which is almost an 8,000 square foot home. So that's the big one for me.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, I'm sorry, Sean, I love to hear what you're doing. You're doing some good stuff. And so how do you stay productive and balance your time?
It's systems, man. I gotta have it on my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, I'm not gonna see it. So my calendar's filled every minute of the day. Sometimes I don't get to it, but I will eventually rearrange it. But it's all systems and just having that mindset that I need to do it. So
Okay. So what's on your calendar today? What does your next 2 hours look like?
Well, I am finishing up the documents to submit to compliance for the deal I just closed Friday night at 7:00 for my closing. So I need to get that documents and paperwork out. I'm going to do a social media post for my closing. Murray, our broker, is here. We have an appointment with him at 11:00 to go over 18 ways to stay out of jail, MLS jail. So we have all the agents in here. After that, then I still have some documents and some addendums that need to be signed for my closing. It's coming up on the 11th of February, and checking up on some clients, following up on some of these leads that I'm working with. So, and then making my calls in the evening time, like I always do.
Nice. So you're evening. So what does that look like time-wise?
That's anytime after 5 to 7, I make my calls, and I get people when they're more relaxed. They're at home. During the day, I find it's a little bit more cumbersome to talk to people and get their true motivation when they're at work. So
Sure.
that's just for me personally. I mean, if I find someone, I can get a hold of them during the day. I just schedule something to call back later in the evening so we can have some more quiet time to talk.
Do you time block morning sessions as well, or do you?
Yes.
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 Yeah? Okay.
Because I'm on role plays with Recon every day. That's from 9:30 to 10. There's a bunch of role plays that I do during the day, but yeah, I have time from 9 to 11, 1 to 3, and then 5 to 7. Those are my times for call.
Love it. So I love to hear that you're doing some role playing.
Oh yeah.
I think that's important that we start working on our scripts and our dialogue, because sometimes when we wing it, it just doesn't come out as impactful, right? So for all of you guys who don't have scripts in place, you guys should have your own little written script, or you keep like a cheat sheet near you that basically is your guide, that you'll use. So most calls look the same, right? So buyer calls are one way, and then you have seller calls that are going to go another way. So buyer calls are always going to go, what they're looking for, what's their current search, what's their current situation, those kind of things, right? So you should have your dialogue that you always say, and it's repetition, right? And so everyone thinks when they get into real estate that this is going to be, people are just going to start calling you as soon as you get your license. Well, that's definitely not the case, right? So you're always actively calling people looking for that next client, right? So homework for all of you guys, if you don't have a script, get one and have it ready for next Monday. I'm going to go through it with you guys, right? We'll go one by one, see what your script is, and we'll start comparing apples to apples and see what we can come up with. But I'd love to hear you doing the role play. That's awesome. So You have a great week, Sean. You're doing fantastic. Keep it up. I know you've got some large goals, so I'd love to hear what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see who we have next. I thought I saw Vincent. Are you there?
Hey, Angel, how you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just trying to stay warm right now. That's about it.
Nice. I hear that. How was your week last week?
Week was it was a adventurous week. Very, very good. Not the best, but not the worst. So it was a good week.
Okay. What does a good week look like? Give me some details.
Well, I got a deal in play. We just have to go over a few things before it gets executed, but the deal is pretty much a locked-in deal for a house. So hopefully I'll have everything finalized come around the 10th of February. I have a buyer that I'll be taking out this week. They take a look at some houses, the one I had under contract, and then we got out of contract, so I'm trying to get them back into contract. I have another show this weekend for a new lead that I pulled up. That's pretty good. But for the week, man, I made like 50 phone calls, which is not the best. I need to pick that game up a little bit more.
Okay. So something cool that Vincent does is he records himself on a device and listens to his phone calls and works on his craft. So it's kind of like what we were talking about with Sean, right? Where he's going back, he's role playing. I love to hear that, and I think that has definitely improved your skill set, right? So you know exactly what you look like, what you sound like, how what you're saying, and you get better week in, week out. So this week you've got several appointments. Would you say 2 or 3 buyers you're working with?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what is your goal to stay consistent? Because I know last week or last year, you and I talked about being more consistent and getting to double digits, looking more like in the 20s. So what are you doing to stay productive this week?
Pretty much to stay productive. I've been trying, like I said, I've been scouring like any leads that I've had that I don't talk to that much. Trying to contact people that I've had contact with. And just trying to do all type of different stuff. Side networking. Trying to go to a couple of events this month. Just to get my name out there and see who's who and who's looking right now. Pretty much. Right now, like I said, right now I'm trying to do a lot of networking right now. Trying to use my resources around me to see how I can pull more leads.
Okay, so definitely tapping into your sphere of influence, right? Friends and family. Are you comfortable making those conversations or those phone calls with your clients or with your friends and family?
I mean, yeah. Now because I've been able to have a couple of deals on my belt to get some experience to feel confident about it. But yeah, now that's what I'm doing now. Okay,
great. So how about past clients? So now you've got a couple dozen past clients. What are you doing to stay in front of those guys?
Well, yeah. So what I try to do is I'm trying to remember when I close these clients so I can give them a shout out every now and so often. Hey, how things going with the home property taxes, stuff like that. Find a reason to call them like, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm concerned. I'm kind of curious on how the house is moving on. And then as I do that, I try to ask them, hey, well, you have anybody in town who's moving in, who might be coming to Florida, might be looking for a house? Let me know. Blah 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 blah.
Okay, let's dial in the blah blah stuff. So when you have your past clients, I challenge you for your new clients to get more in relationship with them, meaning you're very much move, fast paced kind of person, right? You're almost like a New Yorker in that sense where you just want to keep it moving, right? But I really challenge you to dive deeper in your conversations, get to know them a little bit more, right? Spouse's name, anniversaries, birthdays, send thank you cards, send birthday cards. Just treat that person. Just treat them like you would want to be treated at a high level, right? Gifting is important as well. So something that I did, I picked up over the last year, which was really helpful, was I started gifting a lot more frequently. Small gifts, not like super expensive stuff. So my process is once I have a buyer under contract as far as the EBBA, the next time I'll send them a thank you card so I get their address, right? And I'll send them a thank you card. Thank you for your business. Thank you for your trust. I'm looking forward to working with you. That's number one. Once we're under contract, I bring them a sweet treat of some sort. Typically, I get truffles from one of my son's friend's mom. She makes these nice little chocolate truffles in boxes, and they're super cute. And I bring them to the actual inspections. The buyers love them. They cost me like $10, right? But it's just a little sweet treat. Hey, just wanted to say congratulations. Here you go. And they love that. And obviously, I'm doing gifting at the closing table. I'm trying to be more specific on something that they like, right? A favorite football team. If their kids like baseball, maybe I'll buy them, a Dick's Sporting Good card or something, whatever. I'm just trying to get a little bit more in depth with them. And that definitely has turned into more and more referrals for me. So the conversation about the referral starts early and often. So make sure that when you get these new leads, when you're working with them and you're hip to hip with them, we're talking about referrals all the time. Hey, listen, my goal for you is to give you the best possible customer service. And if typically when you're buying a house, you're going through that process, you start to see and hear more about other people buying a home. If you come across that person, please give them my information. And what would be really nice is that triangle of trust text. Have you guys ever heard of that? So the triangle of trust text is, hey, Vincent, this is my friend Joseph. He's looking at buying a home. I told him that you were really great, something like that. So I train them to give me a referral, right? And that has been a lot more successful because now I don't have to chase them as much. I've already got it teed up from the client. That's a perfect world, right? So I'll take that kind of like approach, just dive in a little bit deeper with them and see if that helps, even with your past clients, right? And it could just be like, hey, just wanted to check in. I was live, this, that, and the other. Hey, by the way, I'm doing something new this year. I'm getting everybody's birthday. I want to do a birthday program. I want to do some gifting. Like, what are your favorite restaurants? Whatever. Just try to get a little bit more creative with those buyers. That make sense? I think I lost you. All right. Well, that's my challenge to you, my friend. I want to see those referrals pour in.
Challenge accepted. Thank you.
All right. Let's see who we got left here. Amanda, how was your week?
How was my week? I did a closing on Friday. And I did a few showings. Like, I'm working with 3 buyers right now, trying to get them to lock in on a property. And I made about 49 contact calls. So that's about it. I'm just trying to work with my buyers and, to have them select a property at this point. But I did a few showings over the weekend.
You have some active buyers. You just had them on an MLS campaign, I'm sure. They're looking at Zillow. What is your strategy to get in front of them? Like, do you have something that you do to, like, do you call them and just say, hey, have you seen anything? Or, like, do you have a kind of plan for that?
Of course, I set them up with the MLS, and I follow up with them like the next day to see if we can schedule showings for anything that they find, they have interest in. And that's basically where we go. So just call them, keep following up, and that's about it.
Okay. So I have the same kind of game plan where, I follow up with them. I set them up on the MLS, but what I do is at least once or twice a week, I'll find a property, I'll identify something that's in their kind of wheelhouse, and I'll send it to them. And I'll say something like, hey, I saw this property. I was thinking about you. Give me a call when you have some time. I wanted to talk through it and see if we can get you in front of this property or get you into the house, get you in the house this week. So it sounds like you're already doing something similar to that, but I think that's a good way to stay top of mind with your clients, and then obviously hitting them with the referral conversation all the time. But we just got to get you some more folks. So were you getting Zillow alerts last week?
I think I received about 2, but I guess that was too slow when I try to select it. But I got like 2 Zillow alerts. I got a lot of Redfins, but I was never on time.
Okay. So we got some Redfin stuff, so at least that's working. They're coming in.
Yeah, they're coming
Dana,
in.
can you check her Zillow stuff and see how many calls she got? If that matches what you have? She got 2, so see if just to make sure we're not missing anything. I know some people with different cell carriers have been missing some calls.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have Dana circle back with you, but it's all about productivity and finding new clients. So it sounds like you got a good little system set up.
Yeah. No, just to convert them right now to, the buyers are good. I did one for this guy. He's in Canada. I did a video tour with him yesterday for a short-term rental to follow up with him because we have some questions about the HOA. And the other buyer, he's a VA. He found the house. He basically rated it a 5 stars. Is that at the last minute, his spouse is flying in from Ghana and he needs to, talk with her. Didn't even know he had a spouse. But yes. And,
what was the last thing you said?
I said I didn't even know he had a spouse because he told me he was not married. So I was like, okay, And then the other one, he is an investor that is looking for foreclosure. I showed him 1 or 2 during the week, and I'm waiting. He said he needed to run his numbers and he'll get back to me. I guess I'll reach out to him this morning again just to find out where he's at right now.
Okay. So you've got a good chunk of clients that you're working with. I'd like to see that number double, of course, or triple, because I think we just need to manage a lot more buyers right now because they are a little bit more patient sometimes in this kind of balanced market where there may not be a super rush. So we got to find some now people. So let's get you hooked up with the Zillow stuff with Dana. She'll circle back with you to see why you're not getting more impressions or alerts or whatever. Okay?
Sure. Thank you.
All righty. Let's see. Last but not least, I think Champrella, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. How was your week?
My week was okay. I have a potential client. I refer her over to a lender to see if she can get qualified. And then I was just pretty much working on my scripts on because I'm new to actually the trying to do the sales calls, the outbound calls. So I was just trying to pretty much put some stuff together there.
Okay. I want to go back to the lender conversation. So my opinion about lenders is they're not all created equal. So I always encourage you to use our lender partners because I've seen a lot of times. So I'll just give you an example. I had a new lender that's been trying to chase me to get my business, right? Calling me all the time, asking me for referrals. So I gave him one and I gave him a challenging one because I knew I wanted to see what he could do with it. I knew they had some credit issues because they had already told me that. So he goes, hey, listen, they're not, they don't have good credit, man. I can't help them. So I told him to come back in a couple months, right? So I took that same client and I gave him to another lender who actually goes above and beyond and will not just take this client and say, hey, sorry, but sorry, but it's not going to work out. They'll actually handhold them and guide them through the process. So that turned into now the client is doing some credit counseling stuff with the lender. And in about 2 months, they'll be ready to buy, right? So that's the difference between lenders is you want to make sure, and you might already have this, but you want to make sure that you have a good lender partner that's really trying to go above and beyond for your clients and not just trying to turn and burn them, meaning, oh, this client doesn't have a 580, we're going to pitch them, right? So I've seen a lot of agents lose a lot of clients that way because then they turn around, they end up getting a pre-approved a month later with somebody else, and now they have a new agent. So do you feel like you had that good loan partner?
I'm not too sure. This is pretty much how I guess I'll find out. But I also told her, I can't remember your guy's name, but I had reached out to him and he told me to just introduce. So I was also sending her over to him today. I just didn't want to do it yesterday. I know it was like Sunday. So I was like, I'll just do it today.
Girl, we work 24/7. So the lenders,
Okay.
if they don't work 24/7, they can't work in our world, right? So
Right.
I don't care about it being Sunday at 5 or whatever. Like they work for us, the
Okay.
lenders, right? And if a client's excited to buy a house and it's Sunday at 8 o'clock, oh well, right? It's
Okay.
just cost of doing business. So
Okay.
don't be afraid to tell them what you want because the lenders work for us at the end of the day, right? They want your business.
Right.
We don't
Okay.
need them, they need us because there's so many different lenders that are out there. So
Okay.
make your connections. If you're not getting what you need and you need a different loan partner, let's chat. Okay.
Okay. And I also went to two networking events. They were okay. I feel like it was more, I met like other like lenders, but I mean one of the events I feel like it was tailored more to realtors versus like, prospects. So yeah,
Here's
I
my
just have to
feeling about networking events, right? They're not all created equal. When I go to a networking event, what I'm looking for are either business owners, right? Small business owners to large business owners that have clients or employees that may want to buy a house, right? That's like the sweet spot. I'm not going to go to a lender event because I don't need another lender. I get calls every single week from different lenders. Other realtors, maybe, but they have to be high level realtors. I don't want to meet Susie Q who just started real estate. That's not worth anything to me, right? I can meet an agent that has tons of listings. Now I have an in with that person. So when my client wants to look, they're going to recognize my name. That's a good partnership to have. But I would be cautious to spend too much time at the networking events if you're not getting anything out of it. So what's the ROI, right? If you're getting somebody or some conversation that's going to turn into business. So if I do meet a lender, I'll add them to my list and then I follow up with that lender probably every other week on Mondays, and I'll just check on and see if they have any other clients that they're working with. And I usually will get 1 to 2 referrals a year from different lenders. So it is okay to go to some events for sure, but just be cautious. Don't spend too much time because it can be a huge time waste versus making those conversations happen on the phone with clients, right? So just be cautious of the events because they can definitely, waste a lot of your time.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So this week, we're going to work on the script. Send me your script because I want to work with you personally on your script and kind of dial it in a little bit more and then get you calling earlier. So send me your script and then I'll give you a call either today or tomorrow and we'll walk through it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think I got everybody. So the theme is obviously this week, and we're continuing, is the outbound phone calls, getting as much Zillow stuff as possible, getting the Redfin. If your Redfin's not going off, get with Dana. If Zillow's not working for you, get with Dana and see what's going on. We found there were some issues with, I think, Verizon. One of our agents, I think it was Cielo in Ohio, she had Follow the Boss on her app, on her iPad, as well as her phone. And if you have that app on a different system, it'll slow down the triggered response and you'll get those alerts. So definitely slow you down. So we want to make sure we're cautious of that kind of stuff. So anyway, we can check your territories. There's lots of different things that we can do to make sure you're getting activity. The lead pool, Sarah, stay on with Dana so she can walk you through that. Anybody else that's looking for information on lead pool, stay on. Dana will walk you through it. You guys have a great week. Go get some contracts. I can't wait to see you guys blow up.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Make sure you stay on if you're wanting to talk about the lead pool with Dana.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. Let's see. So, okay. So Sarah, I mean, when you go in, there's really no easy way to like, because, and sometimes what happens is we had them combined. That's just what the guys wanted a while ago. We used to have them separated, but then we ended up combining them probably about 6 months ago or so. So you have Winter Haven, Tampa and Orlando all in one pool. There's like two different pools of that. So really your best bet is when you go into the pool to go into when you go into the, I'm pulling it up now, into the client, you're just gonna have to click on the client and then scroll down and just see what their activity is over to the right, where they've been looking. And it jumps all the time. Sometimes that's why we combine them. They thought it would be a good idea because sometimes they're looking in Tampa first and then they start looking in Winter Haven or then they're looking in Orlando. So that's gonna be like your best bet of seeing what area they're currently working in.
Okay. And then a
Yeah.
lot of them, like when I was going through, a lot of them, like people are reaching out to them. Does
Yeah.
that mean that like they're assigned to someone?
They only get if they're in the lead pool, they're not assigned to anyone. So, like we were saying before, when you get to a showing, like when you get to set up an appointment and you're about to, you're gonna show, then you let me know, you tag me, please reassign to me. I am doing a showing or setting up the appointment for the showing. And that's how you get them. If they're in the pool, they're free game for anybody.
Okay. So
Mhm.
like I was looking and a lot of them had like phone calls, back
Yeah.
at like the end of January with
Mhm.
someone else.
It's good to put notes. Yep.
So they're not like, because I was a little confused about that, whether or not they're like working with that person or not. And I don't want to like
Yeah.
interfere with that.
Everybody's just trying to get a hold of them. If you see notes that, they're working with that person or whatever, then they just haven't let me know and it's still fair game. I can't go through like 2,000 of them. But yeah, I mean, some agents will wait a little bit and move on to the next one if that lead hasn't been called. But bottom line, it's just somebody trying to get a hold of them to start working with them if they're interested. So
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
not going in there and looking for someone that just hasn't been contacted at all. We're just going in there and
yeah, they're in there because they're just, and you can look at the notes though, like sometimes you'll see a current note, already have a realtor, the last note that they had in there. But sometimes they're reaching back out, so we never trash any leads. Just because they already have a realtor currently, because you never know if they would actually want to have it again, not want to
Okay.
work with that realtor and look for one of us. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that clears up my confusion because I was
Okay.
going in there looking for someone that like didn't have any contact made with them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was seeing like them talking to other people and I thought like that was like their person.
Yeah, no, they're in there. I mean, they could still be their person in Zillow, like, if they haven't been reassigned yet. If they just go in the pool, they haven't been fully reassigned sometimes. So, because it's a little different process that I have to do, and some agents are just putting them in the pool. So, yeah, either way, they're fair game, and that's why they're in the pool is because they haven't been converted to getting to showing homes, and then hopefully get them under contract. Once you get them to that point, they're assigned to you. Once you get them to an appointment and then gonna show homes, then they get assigned to you when you tell me. And
Okay.
then once they get assigned to you, they're no longer in the lead pool.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I
Mhm.
was going in
Yeah,
there
no
and I'm
problem.
like, it's impossible to find someone that hasn't had anyone else reach out to them.
Oh, right. Yeah, because everybody's in there. So it's just kind of a luck of a draw. I look at it like, eventually hopefully they'll pick up for somebody and you may be that somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because ISA calls as well. So you just never know when you'll hit them, and hit them where they may be interested finally in that moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything? I see that Champrella is still on here and Vincent. Do you guys have anything for me before we close?
Well, I do. So is there any possible way to have it like filtered? Because when I was going in, I seen a lot of words like I know you mentioned that you guys don't delete any. But it just seemed like a lot of like it was like a lot of dry leaves, if that makes sense. It was just a lot of what I was seeing was some where the person had already sold their home. So
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
so is it a
Yeah,
way
they
to
keep
like
them all.
put the new oh okay. So we
Yeah,
just
they're
have
all
to
in there. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not going to be separated because the partners just want them all in one pool. So.
okay.
And it would be kind of difficult. You'd have to go by each individual note, for all
Yeah.
that many leads. Yeah. But I mean, you can filter it as well and do like, say you only want to call the Zillow ones. You can filter it when you're in there. You go over to the filter and you do by source. So if you just want Zillow and Zillow preferred, you can filter that way where it's just going to streamline just those. Because the only ones that are going to be in there are going to be anything other than self. Obviously nobody's self leads will ever go in there. So they're just going to be from lead sources. So you can filter it that way if you'd like. There's different ways of filtering it. You can filter it like when it last went in there, like communication as well. So there's different ways of filtering it. So you're not looking at just like 2,000. So if it gets like overwhelming and you don't want to go through all of them, you can always just start with like Zillow preferred as a lead source and then work from there.
Oh wow, I didn't realize I can filter it. Okay, so I have to log in to take a look at it, man.
Yeah, there's tons of them. There's going to be Zillow. There's going to be even Redfin now. If some of them already went in there from before, you'll get Rocket, Realtor.com. A lot of lead sources that we don't currently have right now, even, but we did have them. And once they're a lead for us, like like I said, we never get rid of them because it could be a possible opportunity. So, yeah, some of them are from open houses. So there's all different. And you can filter and just kind of take a look and see which ones you want to start calling. That way it's not like I said, overwhelming where you're looking at like over 2,000 of them and scrolling through. You can filter them if you like.
Okay, perfect. I'll take a look. And I'm not sure if I need to call you separately, but I didn't receive any calls this weekend for like I guess the real time touring.
And you're over in which area again? I'm sorry. Winter
Orlando.
Haven? Okay. Winter Haven? Okay, let me look right now. So I am seeing now, and your phone's all updated, like you're on your, like everything's updated with your iOS. That will have to do with it for sure. Yeah, if your phone isn't updated or if it's on do not disturb ever, you won't get any leads. Leads can't process through. And then if it's not fully updated to where it needs to be updated, on the very recent update, they won't come through either. It's just the way Zillow works. It works by the updates. So I'm showing that, yeah, you're fine on my end. So I don't know if just any didn't come in, but when we get off the call, I can give you a call in just a few minutes and then we can get on with support. But they're gonna make sure that your iOS is all updated on your phone. So if you can make sure that is before I get on with support, because then they won't be able to help you.
Okay.
Yeah, so is your phone all updated?
Yes, it's updated.
Okay, all right. And then I can just have them do like a test call to you while we're on. And so I'll do that in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is anybody else need me for anything? Nope, I think they're all off. All right. Well, have a good day and I'll call you right back, Shamprilla. All right, bye-bye.